Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn, Raaker, and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of the Chef You and I, and today we're doing a wonderful Greek recipe that I learned on the Celestyal Cruise lines, and it's made with king prawns, ouzo, tomatoes, onions, oregano, and rosemary, and it's just absolutely a delightful, delightful dish. So let's start. We're going to use some beautiful king prawns that I bought at a store. They're right here. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to use about a quarter to a half a cup of olive oil and pour that into a hot pan. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your prawns and and some people like to leave the heads on, but I had the heads taken off. And these are huge. So this is going to feed two of us. And if you want a bigger portion for a bigger crowd, then just use more prawns. So we're going to let those actually heat up a little bit. And then we're going to add our onions next, and then our tomatoes and oregano. So let's just turn the heat up on this a little bit. And we'll let those take care of themselves, and then we're going to add our onions. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add the onions now. And this is I chopped up about a half an onion to one whole onion, a white onion. Put that in there. That's really nice. And this is going to make almost like a gravy for the prawns. And this is really going to be good. And then we're going to add the oregano in just a little while. And we're just going to let that brown a little. I'm going to put the top on it for a minute. Okay. And, these are the kind of things that you can make very easily. You could use smaller prawns or shrimp if you wanted to. You don't have to have king prawns, but I think it's just a nice presentation if you do that. So the next thing I said that we're going to do in a second is we're going to add our tomatoes. These look like they're starting to really do exactly what I want them to do. And you're going to turn them. And actually, prawns, and these are huge, prawns don't really take a long time. These will take 5 or 6 minutes, but the smaller versions only take maybe 4 or 5 minutes, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to let that go. And then now I'm going to add the tomatoes. And we want to take the tomatoes and put those in there. And I did about 3 or 4 tomatoes, and I chopped them up really fine. And get those in there. All right. And actually, that looks really nice. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tablespoon of dry oregano. And we want to let that simmer a little. And then the key to all of this, and I think you're going to love this, is what I do next, and that is actually I'm going to put in the ouzo in a minute. These are really big shrimp, prawns. That's a fit for a king, actually. So we'll let that just simmer for a few minutes more because they're pretty big. And so, if you don't like prawns, you could maybe use some other type of fish if you wanted to. Scallops, maybe. That would be really nice. Or maybe even a little lobster. That might work too. So, and this was such a simple recipe that I was very surprised how long it actually took the chef to do it. and but it was delicious. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some ouzo, and if you don't have ouzo, you can use wine or some other liqueur, and we're going to actually turn these over, and I want the camera to get this because you want them to get this really nice pink color. See how pretty that is? And that's starting to look really, really, really good. Now, and I'm going to move this over here because when and you do not have to light this, but I'm going to pour now about a cup of ouzo in here. Maybe a little bit more. And then what you want to do, and we're going to see what happens here. I think I'm going to move our recipe book down a little and this down a little. Okay? And we're going to light it. Whoa. Okay, and then we're going to let it go. And then we're just going to let this simmer for a little while, and it's going to be a tremendous dish that you'll love for a long, long time. So let me do this. You can smell it. Whoa, it smells so good. Just really simple. And then we're going to serve this with a rice pilaf and rosemary, and that's going to be really, really delicious. But you're going to want to make sure that, okay, we're going to let that simmer for a little bit longer because these shrimp actually are huge. And, you know, sometimes it takes a little while. We're going to take a little short break, and we'll be right back on the Chef You and I, and we're going to plate our shrimp. We're back on the Chef You and I, and now I'm going to serve the king prawns, and I'm going to put them side by side because they're pretty large prawns, and you really want them to look nice on the plate. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to put this one right next to it. And then we're going to actually put some sauce from what we did with the tomatoes and the onions, and we're going to surround it, right, like that. That looks really sweet. And right here, and a little right here, right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some rosemary that I've already cut, and what we're going to do is we're going to break it off, and like that. And we're going to put it like right here, like that. And like this. And that's beautiful. Now you've got a really nice piece right there. And then we're going to do the same thing over here with the other plate. You have to love king prawns, and these are absolutely, they're probably the largest I've ever seen in the States. Okay, here we go. And then you want to use rosemary on this one as well. And then you could do this, and you could do this right here, and like that. And what a beautiful dish. It's simple, easy to do. Serve it with rice pilaf. You've got a great meal right there. And it's very, actually, very elegant. Tastes great. Wait till you try it. We will put our recipe from the Celestyal Cruise Line up on our website, which you can print out now, which will make it really simple for you. And like I said, You can get smaller prawns, or you could use lots of other different fish items with this wonderful recipe. But try it. You'll love it. We'll be right back on The Chef You and I.